And yeah, so let's get this thing going. As you can tell in the title, this is a Season 3 Guan Yu build for Solo Lane Conquest. So, where you'd want to start out for your abilities is always your 3. The Tallow Assault. Because it can help you build your stacks much faster, which is a godsend. So, this gives him some damage output, which is always nice depending on who you're going up against. So you're building stacks, you're also getting hit to build stacks, so your stacks are going to be coming in pretty quick for his passive. So yeah, then his second ability that you'd want to put in is his Conviction, because by the time you're done with Tallow Assault, you're probably going to be done with your stacks, or if not very close. So this will make his passive, his painless passive, much better for the heals, because it scales off of how much damage you put out times the amount of stacks you have. So you're gonna get a nice big heal out of it. Then you're gonna go your 2, then you're gonna go your ults, but then that's pretty much it in that order. So now for build wise in starting, I suggest you go with Bluestone Pendant because it can help you clear lane much faster. I will display this. Alright, so now with this, once these minions come back up, hopefully you'll see, that works too. So now you're going to see that Bluestone Pendant can, for those of you who do not know, it does bonus damage for any ability that does damage. So this is a great thing. So you go into your your Tallow Assault, you're pretty much almost done with the lane, and you already have full stacks. So that's very good. Then you pop your heal for good measure, and that will ultimately heal you and your minions, so that'll give you, a little bit more of a push. Then with that, you build into Warrior Tabby, so it will, help you put out some serious damage later on, which is very, very good, and it also gives you the movement speed that you need. Then this is up to the player to either go into Hide of the Urchin to build stacks early, or go into Transcendence to build stacks for your mana so you can, stay in the fight a little bit longer. But me personally, I go with Transcendence because as you're clearing minions and clearing waves, it's going to build up quick. Ow. So, now let's demonstrate. So now, once you have full stacks, you're going to have a nice bit of mana, so I mean, that will allow you to stay in the fight a little bit longer. As long as you have potions to back you up, you'll be able to stay in lane and make the other guy retreat. So now let's start building your stacks. It's very easy to clear lane early game, so, I mean, no, it's not, well, as you progress through and have your minions kill them and you're fighting alongside them, that's what gives you, a little bit of an advantage, because if you go after the enemy's minions while fighting with your own, as soon as they hit you, the enemy player, they'll all turn on the guy, for those of you who don't know. So then, once Transcendence is built, I would go into Hide of the Urchin for the, the building of stacks, extra protections, which is always nice. And Mystical Mail, this is only for building stacks and dealing additional damage, because most of the time warriors in solo lane do not build magical protection. So then that leads into you building stacks much faster. You don't even have to hit the guy because the Mystical Mail is going to be doing it for you. I'll demonstrate. So let me just build up stacks on Odin real quick. See, as you can tell at the bottom of the screen, it's 15, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm at full stacks already, so I'm just going to waste this heal real quick. So everything will be coming back. So now, here's what's going to happen. You always initiate with your 3, follow up with your 1, and then if they're getting away, use your dash. For those, because his dash can be very good. It also initiates a slow, so it'll allow you to keep up with them. So now, then the next thing you want to build into, I can't stress this enough, that how many times this thing has saved my ass in one game. That was actually really, really bad. We came back from it. Hydra's Laminate. Basically, for 8 seconds after using an ability, your next basic attack will do a 30% additional damage. So with that, you can actually use your heal. Watch. You just go into a fight, heal, and you're doing more damage. And then as this thing is progressing, you're going to keep doing more and more damage. So now once you have your full build here, you'd want to sell the Bluestone Pendant and go into Jotun's Wrath. So then with that, it's going to be pretty straightforward. And then you're going to literally wipe through the enemy like it's a hot knife through butter. Now, this build is very, very good, but you have to play passive-aggressive in early game. If you see the opportunity to go for a kill, do it. But if they're in tower and your abilities are on cooldown, don't do it. Because this build is meant to be a bully. So if you want to deal like all the extra damage and go nuts, you have to play, you know, to his ability. So if your heal is on cooldown and you think you can go for it, don't do it. Because most of the time, there's a chance you can get it, but then you're gonna probably die right after because they're probably gonna have a minion wave. So always wait until your heal is ready. Wait until your stacks are full. Boom, and you get a decent heal out of it. So the more you follow up with damage, the more you can tank out of it, and the more kills you can build to get the stacks up. And it is very good. Also, a alternate build is you keep Jotuns, you keep Warrior, you keep Urchin, you sell Mystical, you sell Transcendence if you don't want to play Mana Hungry and you just want to be a bully. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. So you would sell Hydras, go in for Gauntlet of Thebes, and then go in for Stone of Gaia. Because that will ultimately give you a ton more health. It'll allow you to just have higher sustain, which is fantastic. Your damage is still pretty good, but your swing speed is a little slow, so you don't expect to go nuts with like some serious damage, because it's not as good, especially early game. This is very, very, very passive build, so you want to build off of minions, and hopefully your jungler will be by your side throughout the whole thing. So that is just a bonus. So now I'll demonstrate on Fire Giant. I'll get my health down to like God knows what. Hopefully I won't die. See, look, I'm only dealing like very minuscule damage to him. But as you can tell, I'm more bulky now, so with that, it makes it a lot easier. Now his health is at 1833. Okay, 15, whatever. Now, you get a bigger chunk of your health back. You can leave, come back, pop your potions. Now your health is going to be going up tremendously. So now you can still do your abilities, still follow up with it, increase the cooldown, pop the health, and you're still building your stacks on top of this, which is very, very good. So then, playing to Guan Yu's skill set and what he has to offer, he's a very good bulky bully with some damage, which is always nice to have, in my personal opinion. But you don't want to like go too crazy with it, because it will wind up getting you killed in the end. Because the more aggressive you play with this build, it's not as good as you think. Like, he may seem immortal, yes, because he has very, very high defense in early game, but his attack is very low. So, I mean, I would just play this to, like I said, his skill set. If the enemy has low health and you see like they're trying to retreat, go in with your dash. Or you can go into initiate with it, then you can just start using his whole kit and going from there. And his most useful ability, in my personal opinion, is his ultimate, which is Cavalry Charge. So when he gets on his red hair, or in this one, I mean, because I play Dynasty Warriors, so this is how I know him. So you always want to go in, nail as many hits as possible, nail the stun, shuts them down for a quick second, builds up your damage, and you're done. So that's a very good thing. Now, if you were going to do this with Hydras and Mystical, the damage output on it is ridiculous. Only for the fact of the ultimate, nailing every hit, and most likely the final hit, which is the stun, is fantastic. So they're taking damage from that, plus the team, plus the mystical mail damage, which it may not seem like much, but you're still doing more damage than what he can put out. So I say this is a very, very good thing to put on him, because it is, in my personal opinion, a must. Because every time, whether you're not hitting them, or they're hitting you, you're building stacks via passive right then and there. So that means you can play a little aggressive once you have it. So once you connect with all the abilities, he can be very, very good, but it's just his stats right now aren't that great, but he can still do a lot of damage and take a lot of damage as well. Like so. Going for the kill, and possibly have a quick escape for a turnaround, and if that doesn't follow up, you always have your dash as a fallback, which you can initiate with or use that as an escape, as I just said. So let's build up these passives. Hopefully the cooldown will be ready. And see, the passive on his Painless is growing a lot faster, thankfully, to the Mystical Mail. Now, one thing I will say, if you are going up against another melee character in solo lane, I strongly advise you get Midgardian Mail, because it slows them down with, as they're hitting you, and your abilities also slow at the same time. So with that, they're slowed like no tomorrow, and they have a higher chance of taking the sickest beating of their life. And this also gives a chance for jungle to come in and do some serious damage. So that's also a very good thing. So Guan Yu can be a good team player and solo player, but for a team player, he can only do so much. As I've seen in a few games in Joust, he's more built to be a bully in Joust more than anything else. So let's follow in with the ults. Connect. Done. So with that, it's very simple to follow up. So, and his second passive, whenever he uses an ability, the cooldowns are increased like no tomorrow for another ability. So say I use my heal, it's decreased by 2 seconds. So with that, I can go in with my dash, still do damage, and follow up with a possible kill. Or, someone else can go in for the kill, you still get the assist. So either way, you're still building stacks on Urchin if you don't have it at 10, at mid to late game, even though you should. But, I will say that this right here is the most broken thing for, defensive, because you're gaining both physical and magical, so it will give you that bonus defense that you need later on for the late game for team fights. So if Guan Yu can come in and follow up with his abilities, he has a very high chance of taking out at least 1 or 2 people in the process while still being a bully. So then for the team fight, he can pop a heal and then maybe ensure the assassins escape. You never know. So, I mean, if you guys like Guan Yu, go for it. But I will say, do not focus on getting kills. Focus on actually getting your build up. And then once you have full build and you're pushing them back to tower and then making them retreat, that is the best way I can say to use Guan Yu. So if you like him a lot and you think he can be very good, well, as you can tell with this build, it is very good, but it's also risky at the same time, because in a team fight you can get ran over pretty quick, but it is a guarantee that you'll be taking at least one of those guys down with you, if not getting the assist. So with that, it's a great follow-up. He can, do a lot of things, but he's also limited by his damage, so don't play too aggressive early game. Mid to late, you should be okay, just don't play too aggressive. Play with your minions, because, I mean, that's how I found it to work on many occasions. So, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and I guess I'll see you in the next video, and there will be a possible video tonight. If not, there will be one tomorrow, hopefully with Guan Yu going in. See you in the next video.